Hello everyone, I'm ImKibitz and welcome back to Satisfactory, where last time we finally used the power of the SAM to make 2,000 copper ore per minute and 1,500 bauxite so we can make more aluminum, which means we have all the resources we need to complete our final factory and beat Satisfactory the video game. And so today I'll be revealing some of our master plans and building out the centerpiece for the project. But first, we got a quick little power plant problem to deal with, because I don't have my million megawatts. So what the heck is it this time? Well, for once, it's nothing to do with a nuclear power plant. Everything here is working just fine. The problem is actually in the turboplex, our first power plant that uses turbo fuel to make about 50,000 megawatts of power. And now what's the problem? Well, I already know. It's something that past Kibs goofed up on. In our quest to gather all the resources in the world, we stole a bunch of sulfur from the power plant to bring to our main base and use in future projects, but I'm sure that I misconnected a belt here or there, am I right? Of course I'm right, I'm a genius. Well, if you're such a genius, Kibitz, why did you make a mistake? Quiet. Other voices. No. There is a small little belt disconnect problem, but it looks like it must be right here, somehow making what? Well, not making compacted coal. No coal. So I misset some belts? Yes. Okay, easy solution. It's just two of the belts I set back here, and once I reset them, everything should be fine. The coal and the sulfur go up towards load balancers, which is why all the belts are mixed right now, right there. And so for me, all I got to do is remove resources until the other ones load up. No problemski bud. And now we are so back and ready to get started on today's project, which will eventually be all of this. This is our new final factory diorama, where just like with the nuclear power plant, every single machine represents a different process in the factory. So this quantum encoder is like for the AI limiters. Then we have to make the excited photonic matter there. It's connected up to like the outclad aluminum sheets and the freaking singularity cell stuff and whatever. Or wait a second, no, that's a superposition oscillator. The point is, billion things to make, thousands of machines to build. And also like the nuclear power plant, I want to have a central building where we can organize things. Except it won't be as insane because we don't have to worry about indestructible nuclear waste irradiating our entire world. All right, so we'll finish up the design stuff over here later. First, we need the functionality bits. And we have all of the items, all the raw resources at least, brought up right to this level here. And then also at this level, I want to have kind of a core of the building where we'll have a main power shaft in the middle, then a personal elevator for the funsies. Gots to have a personal elevator, am I right? Of course. And then besides the elevator, we also want a U-jelly pad. And that'll go over here for when we're at the very tippy top of this base. We can just jump on down and be safe most of the time. And throughout the infrastructure we have around here, I also included little hype hooses with hyper tubes. So we gets to have hyper tubes as well, right? So we'll plan for 3 of those to be here. I will probably have some that go up and down, a third that maybe goes to like an airport, I'm not sure. And then we also have to figure out what the heck to do down here. But that's a future Kibs problem. No. We build this way up first. Now I'm thinking just for my peace of mind, we're gonna have each of the floor go up 10 tiles or like wall segments. And then on the 10th, we'll have the actual floor there. That way when we expand, I don't know, up to space, I can keep track of how tall the floors are. And most importantly, we can fit refineries in here, which we will probably have to build a lot of still. And what about particle accelerators, yes? We good? Oh, we're so good. And we're also so done with the design. Looking snazzy, eh? Elevators in, power shaft is in and labeled, so I know, Kibitz, don't muck with this power line or you'll destroy the world. Some minor details are in as well, and then new staircase in case I have to peasant trot for some reason. I don't know, I just keep it as a stylistic thing. I like having staircases. And with the power of blueprints, they're easy to add in, so why not? And so next step is we're actually going to build a main hub/portal room, which is actually what I did for our main base as well. I set up a foundation and then I built our main portal room area and item hub just right there and built the rest of the base around it. Because real talk, outside of the aluminum stuff that's built in here, this place really is just like a main portal hub and hypertube cannon area. And since I'd be here a lot, I wanted the main view to be wonderful. And I want it to be the same situation here, where I leave the portal, then I can look upon the rest of the desert covered in factories and whatnot, and be like, wow, this is so cool. So all right, up a couple floors. I like the view from here. What do we do now? Well, the main thing is we want a portal, right? And also, we need a little bit of space between our main kind of like power and utility shaft here and the room. We'll probably start building at this point, and the power shaft is the middle of this entire platform. So if we have the portal just right here, that means it is centered. So just as a bit of a placeholder, we'll put that right there. And as for the rest of the room, well, you know, we're actually gonna copy some Star Wars stuff. You see, the Star Wars Star Destroyer bridges are really cool. I like them a lot. Like the elevated gantry-way, I think is the word. Yeah, those are neat. So we're gonna be doing something like that, and we're also gonna make the room white after we bring in the fancy floor. Oh yeah, remember this blueprint from like the beginning of the playthrough? Oh yeah, bud. It's very nice with like reflections and a bunch of stuff layered in together. It's very, very cool. And we're going for a white theme. We can change these out and copy and paste the colors right over this way. And why I like this fancy floor is you can kind of see a bit of reflections down in the side here along with the lights, but there's no like tripping hazard because this is all glass. It's, yeah, very, very well done blueprint. And it will go straight forward into what shall be a giant window. As for the rest, the gantry idea, we are going to be using these foundation stairs. I love these foundation stairs. They're actually one of my favorite additions to Satisfactory, and I have hardly used them. So you better believe I'm gonna use them as much as possible for this final factory project. And if we're painting things white, I think we're gonna go with the coated concrete there. And then with the ice white paint, that looks very spacey, very futuristic. Yeah? Maybe a bit much? Maybe a little bit much. I don't know. That's just like the gantry way. There's like the whole rest of the room to build still. And no matter what, we gotta add in lots and lots of pizzazz, right? And if I'm gonna add in some pizzazz, we're gonna do some craziness. We are going to have diagonal walls. There we go, we can have one on the left here, one on the right, and then we can put a bunch of signs just on the side as well. And then since the rest of the room is gonna be very white, we can use this opportunity to add in different colors, like red. And yes, the rest of the walls are gonna be painted white, don't you worry. A future theme, technology. And maybe then we leave the gantry color red as well? Maybe we don't make it white. I don't know. There's always a lot of humming and hawing with creative work like this. And after enough humming and hawing and deleting things over and over and over again, you know what? End up with something kinda cool. Kept the diagonal walls, added in a little backplate here, and with the ImKibitz icon pack mod, I have my own little logo right behind the portal. Doesn't that look amazing? I think so. I like it a lot. If only we had, you know, the rest of the room, or, you know, the rest of the building to encase it, right? But we're getting there, don't worry. First look, I made this. It's a little platform. It's like a little small pillar support, and it has like a sign on top, and it's where I can stand to oversee the factory and all the doohickeys. Cool, eh? I like it a lot. I don't know what we're gonna do with this front here because I wanna have a window up front. So I'm thinking maybe we have like a balcony here or something. I don't know. A problem I'm running into now is that I really like what I put together here. It's just really the rest of the building is holding me back a bit. It's like I filled out the center of a puzzle and I don't have the outside of it. However, I already have a good idea of what I'm gonna do. And some of you have already figured it out. We're going back to season 3, baby, the big red design. Where I wanted to finish all of Satisfactory in one location. Now that caused some problems and horrendous amounts of lag. And we had to end the series because they changed a few numbers with nuclear, blah, 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 blah. But the design still stands. And now we can rebuild it better than ever before with new technologies and materials. And you know, probably with a little less concrete as well. I use concrete for everything already. So now, behold, the reborn Big Red. Design pending. You know what? I tried it out and it's definitely not there yet. But it's a general concept. We have the big central window, that's where our hub is. We have the same wall designs using the red walls, and I painted everything gray with like the plastic foundations or whatever, and it's not bad. Definitely needs a couple more hours of humming and hawing. But right now, this is the general concept, and we'll fill out the rest and adjust things as time goes by. Right now, I need this general concept though so we could finish off our portal room. That is the main goal. And now that we have a front wall, and we have an idea of what will be above us, we can work on the side walls, the ceiling, and the whole rest of it. So since we have this wall over here, well, we already know now that this has to go this way to match the material. Well, probably, that's at least what I'm thinking. And now the real tricky part is how we're going to add in extra details around here. Because the main enchilada, right? The main stage is our main portal, of course. So the walls, they're supposed to be accents. The window, a nice big deal, but it's again, not supposed to be the centerpiece. So we have to add details that aren't noticeable. So a few good ideas could be like adding in extra signs onto the walls to like change up the textures. Or we could literally change up the textures with like an entirely different material. Does that look good? I don't know, it's different. And mostly it's something I'm keeping in mind. I think we actually need to finish up the ceiling first before we really dive into the wall stuff. And for the ceilings, I got lots of ideas. I have made a lot of cool ceilings in old Satisfactory here. One of my favorites, in fact, is inside our main portal room, or at least beside it, where it's like these cool, like, inset lights. So there's lights up there that I never turn on, but I really like how they're kind of hidden, and they can be lights if I want them to be lights. And the main thing is they add in like a really cool texture that I like. Another fun idea is this infinity roof that we have above the alien augmenter. So what you do is you have like a glass flat roof, and then underneath that flat roof, you have another like bit of glass, A, or B, you have this Vanta black painted concrete here. And that kind of mucks with the reflections, giving this kind of infinity roof design. As in like the reflections kind of go up forever. Specifically, it works with the lights in the walls. That's what I want the most. So we could probably copy that one. Or, actually inside our portal room here, I just have some basic stripes on the ceiling and on the floor. So we might just do that. Or you know what? No, I got a different idea. I mess around for many more hours to come up with something entirely new. This full and final design. Where we have the textures like I was mucking around with earlier. I included some lights in the ceilings with a bunch of beams to add in some like extra depth. And then the ceiling is just entirely black because there's a lot going on. It's a busy room, but it's a beautiful room, and I absolutely love it. Love it. The lights are even turned on, by the way, because the room is kind of dark without them. Well, after we enter through the portal, we can go to the left or right, and there's staircases down here that go into the rest of the factory, and off we go. So there's room underneath the main foundation for like some hypotubes. We can have hypotubes down here. For the lights, cool little trick is you make the main color gray, and then you turn down the intensity, and it gives this really beautiful, like natural kind of looking light inside of here. Oh, and I could not be happier. This is perfect. It's perfect. It's perfect. You know, I might muck around with a few little things though. We are going to be working on this project for probably around 1,000 hours. So I'll probably figure out a way to include a hypotube right in here. So when we leave this portal, we can jump right in. But for now, there is so much more we have to mess with. Like the entire outside of the building. We have all of the rest to build. It's nuts. There's a power to set up. There's a hypotube cannons I want to include. And quite frankly, the exterior is not it yet. Okay, so quick breather, figured out all of the wiring and the hypotube stuff, so it's all settled. Then for the hypotubes in the main room here, I actually just put the entrances in the floor, so when we leave the portal, we can just scoot into here. And that launches us out to wherever the heck we need to go. And while I was working on that, I realized some of the problems with the exterior here. Main one being, the pants are too high. This foundation, far too tall. It's like the same height as the main base. So we're gonna lower this way down, maybe to here. Not 100% sure yet, I will figure it out. And then also, I want to finish up the interior as well. Just this space, because we're gonna have to organize a ton of items back and forth through this area, and I'd rather it look nice. And having this area detailed will please future Kibs. So it gots to be booped. And in case you're wondering, yes, this does all take a quadrillion hours to set up and build. But man, doesn't it look so much better when it's all organized and beautiful? In fact, one of my favorite things I did in here was for when there's trains or pathways in and out of the foundation, I have these foundation frames on top of a painted black concrete block, and I don't know, it just looks really, really nice as an entrance and exit. What do you think, train? Yeah? Oh yeah. And on top of the standard fare, adding in some walkways, I got rid of the huge train supports and they're just pillars now. And I even included the walkways with the road system, so there's some stairs that go down and there's some crosswalks and even a little parking space for me. But what I'm most excited about is how the exterior looks now. It is all said and done. We are moving, we are grooving, it is looking amazing. It took a lot of work, there's quite a few changes, but it was all worth it. It was all worth it. All the little details, all the power cables, everything set up, and even the portals that are clipping into the floor. I added in a sign, so it just looks like you're jumping into the abyss. Just everything has been detailed and looks a million times better. There we are. It is rebuilt. It is reborn. Our final factory core building. Now I can't wait to add in all the belts and factories and details and everything that will be included with this gargantuan project. But alas, we'll have to leave that for future Kibs, and that is gonna be all for now. And until next time, I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and bye-bye.